Make sure I get this tuned in right. Here we go. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm in, y'all. I'm in, y'all. Here I go. I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. Hey, YouTube, how are you all doing today? I want to make sure that I tuned in. It is me, Dr. Chef Alicia Ann, here for Wellness Wednesday. Yes, a different time. Yes, I gotta say it again, y'all, for a different shine. All right, you all. I'm gonna give you time enough to tune in. As I stated, for my Facebook family, and prayerfully, you all, some of you all are able to share to Instagram. I don't know if whether or not they're making it over to Instagram. Hey there, Ruby. Mwah! Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and the family. Yes, I'm in for Wellness Wednesday. You all can ask questions. This is your free coaching time. I will allow some questionings for those who have questions about what they should use. And y'all know I always get to my mental health and wellness talk and chat from every perspective that I can think of under the sun. Okay. And so it's just good to see you. Hey, this is Lauren. Good to see you. Hey, did you get my text? I hope that you got my text. Let me know so I know for sure that the texts are going through on the business side to see what time we're still. I'm not giving up, Sister Lauren. I'm not giving up. We're going to get it in. Woo! We're going to get it in, and and we do have new shipments going out. So I got treats for those who have been patient with me while I go through this journey. Yes, am going through another. It's good to see you. Let me know how everybody's doing. I just heard about Auntie Sherry Ruby going to visit Willie Mae. So you send my love to her. So hey there, TT Michelle. I see you. I see you. Send my love. Happy New Year's to everybody that I have not gotten a chance to personally say Happy New Year's to the family as well. It's good to see you all tuning in. I didn't get it takes unfortunately. Oh, well, there you go. You got me a person now. So here I go. Here I go. So perfectly, if your dad and parents are doing well. If not, then this is Wellness Wednesday. You all can ask whatever questions you want. Try to give you guys up to 2 hours. As usual, you all know how I do it. I do my best to make up as much as I can for any delays. And I have noticed y'all could have had told me. Y'all know I'm down there. Hey there, Brother Rashad. It's good to see you all. Shalom. Praise God. Assalamu alaikum. And then for our folks to say that, okay, well, what if you're not a part of no particular type of group or religion? Then what do you say, Dr. Chef? And I say, hey, what's up? How y'all doing? Tell them, Ruby, hey, that's how you do it. Say, how you doing? It's like, oh no, look, how you doing? That's what I say, but not in that other kind of way, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so it's good to see you. Oh, thanks, Ruby. I appreciate. Look, keep me in the prayers. You know how tough it's been. It's been tough, tough. But by the grace of God, I've been hanging in there, and not just hanging in there. I'm like, woof. Like I told y'all before, I am more convinced than ever. I must say this before you start off with prayer. I am more convinced than ever that to be well and to do right by God's temple as much as possible that we have have. Yeah, I know you know, Ruby. I know you know how I was able to strive and thrive through this into 2024. Um, I shared it with some of you all that's tuning in now. Please like and share. That would be a great way to be able to build the channel so that I can that do inspire. I do see where it inspired me to know that someone is listening, someone wants to chat and feel that it's helpful in some type of way for you all when you all like and share and when new different ones call in. It's a beautiful thing starting off the new year. Every year I've noticed for years now that everybody have tried their best to try to have a new mindset to start over and do things in a more better way than what they did the year before. My prayer is that actually take place in each and every one of you all's life, that whatever your struggles were last year, then that you be able to overcome them this year. And I know we skipped to a whole year, but it's really a day by day journey. I just had just one that I just really the last couple of years, and of course it was. I know it was supposed to be somewhat challenging when you lose a mom. Hey there, Brother Lamar, you made it in. I'm so glad. See, the faithful ones are always going to tune in and be supportive, and I'm real thankful for you all, more so than you ever know. But I'm gonna try my best, that as long as God give me breath in my body, to make sure that you know. Okay, and so saying, hey, Sister Graham, great, good to see you, good to see you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Got all of my brothers and sisters tuning in. I hope this is a good time. I had to tune in at this time, y'all, because I once again was not going to be defeated. Today was a different kind of day, and I know why. I know why. I have to address it. Tomorrow would be the birthday of my biological dad, Alfred Lee Wallace, Senior, and it's tough. I was trying to make sure that I get things shifted and taken care of, and waiting for new products and things of that nature to come in. Thank you so much, Brother Lamar, for your support and willingness to help. I knew, let me put it to you like this, and I'm trying not to get choked up, y'all. I'm trying not to, because forget all that stuff about strong black women don't cry, don't get all choked up, whatever. Everybody on that. You got to release that stress, or just or it's good and healthy to release tears of joy. And so this one, if I get a little choked up, y'all, I'm giving you a heads up. It's only because I'm happy. And I'm already, it's starting to happen, y'all. It's starting. See, I'm giving y'all heads up. Y'all could tell I'm not used to being a crybaby. Woo. Okay. I'm happy because I can tell that since 2015, since my daddy has been gone and left his DNA with me, very strong. Y'all know I have to strive to him. It's so deep, my connection with my dad, that it's even hard to look at his pictures sometimes, but I feel him like some of you all do, probably with your parents. It's a blessing to have your parents still in the land of the living. But when I tell you, I got to start off because this is well. I'm thankful that I had a father that had a good heart. I'm thankful that I can tell that his presence has brought positive, hardworking, supportive men in my life at this time. And I was doing my best because I just wanted to take tomorrow on his birthday just to remember him and just, do my work and do what I have to do, but not do nothing extra. But it did not happen like that, y'all. I promise. Because you got to remember, when you pray and you connect to God and you say, Father, let your will be done and not my will be done. I don't know about y'all, but it's something to that. Because I'm sitting here like since the end of last year, on top of everything else, thinking to my mind, I gotta get everything cleared out. Brother Lamar, I told you, I gotta get everything cleared out. I gotta do this because I don't want nothing falling on the date of my daddy's birthday. I want to reminisce on the good times. I want to walk, because that was one of the most special times that I remember as a girl with him, is having our nice little walks. And I wanted to just do something that was naturefied, whether the weather was good or not. But it didn't happen like that. While I'm working around everybody else's schedule, and then my own schedule is just set where I won't be able to finish off a big project until tomorrow on his birthday, if God allow me to see it. And I was like, man, how this happen? I got to start off like that. I was like, how this happen? And so finally, it hit me. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. It just hit me, but it didn't hurt me. Did you ever take out the time to think that maybe all the brothers that you know that have been brought into your life are coming together because this is God's way of showing you that he didn't forget about you, even though your father, your strong, black, beautiful, melanated daddy is not here anymore to help you? Did it ever occur to you that this is God's way of saying, I didn't forget about you, little girl? Yeah, look, young lady, I did not forget about you. And when I thought about it in that way, y'all, I had to take a moose eye. I had to stop. I admit on this Wellness Wednesday, I was starting to stress. I could tell it because I didn't want to do certain things that I needed to do. And I'm like, man, it's been since 2015. When is this thing gonna go? So I hope, like, for some of you all that have experienced this, and yes, it don't matter my years of counseling, it's always more easier when it's somebody else than when it hits home. Don't let nobody lie to you. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care how much you say, oh, I let the Lord. And all praises be to God for those of you all who are so strong, and you got all this stuff all figured out, and or you didn't have a relationship that you would have preferred to have with one of your parents, and you don't have to go through these feelings of I miss you, daddy, and I miss you, mama. That's a blessing if you don't have to. I I don't wish it on anybody in no age or stage to have to experience the transitioning of parents and your child, even though if it's going by the scriptures say that we're supposed to rejoice when our loved ones leave this earth. And because I've had so many to leave, as some of you all know that's tuning in, because I had so many, hey there, greetings, Sister Dorothy. Because I had so many to transition, as some of you all that's tuning in that know this, I started to get it, because clearly the opposite of someone like myself that's always wanted to help see someone heal and see them do better, you would have to know that my negative would be losing someone. So for every positive, there is a negative, or for every right, there is wrong. There is for every time it looks dark, there is light. That balance, and I shared it before. I realized that that's something that I can't per se control, even though He has given me tools and knowledge of how to expand, to help someone to expand their life in a more healthier way that follows suit with what I teach. And still, even with that, that would be my mental challenge. Where with yours may be trying to make sure that you don't wind up eating that hot dog or them chips or whatever, or dealing with a coworker, or maybe yours is the same. Whichever, you know, mental wellness starts in the mind. Yeah, I know I always say it, and I'm never going to not say it. It starts with what you're thinking. And guess what, y'all? We get a chance to control how we think. No matter how much you see another little girl walking. I mean, sometimes I just get choked up just watching a little girl walking one day. I get happy most of the time. Let me say it like, because I remember that feeling. But then there's other times when I just have to take a deep breath, like, I remember the time when life was simple like that, where all I had to do was look up and know that I was well because my daddy was there. And then I started to automatically make my mind to remember that you have many that don't even know who their fathers are. So just be thankful that you have the experience of having a father. And even when your father wasn't there, you had plenty of uncles, you had plenty of brothers, plenty of knucklehead cousins. And so you have to find, you all, the things that I'm glad to share with you all, that you have to find the things that you can be thankful and grateful about that others do not have or have not experienced, that wish that they would have, instead of only focusing on what you do not have. And I mean that for everything. And that creates that balance. So let's take this to the health and wellness. Let's blend this. Y'all know how to do it. You know, fruit. Somebody say, I'm tired of eating the same fruit. I'm tired of eating the same vegetable. Well, you could be in parts of the country where they're only eating out of the slum, where all they got is spoiled goods, where in certain parts of Haiti, they having to eat mud pies, even though, I'm being honest, y'all, if I had to think with my scientific, biological nature mind, their minerals in their mud may be more healthy than, I would say that's probably more healthier than the artificial, genetically modified food that they're giving us. I know it's hard to fathom, but it's true. Would be more healthier than what we have. Now, I wouldn't say that that'll be good on the digestive system, but these people still got strength out of this world. I have been blessed to have some um, um, very good close sisters that's from Haiti, and the strength of the resilience that they have in them is amazing. And no, they were not born with a silver and gold spoon in their mouth. They've seen some hard times, and the resilience, I love it when I see it. And I'm like, wow, you grew up in poverty and where you probably didn't know where your next meal was coming from, but yet you're still a giver, yet you still want to love, yet you're still friendly, yet see this is part of being well, y'all. This is when you know you well in the mind, and not just temporarily when somebody's doing something for you that you like. It's always easy to be good and show good character when somebody is investing in you. It's easy to do it. Look at y'all. I'm so proud of myself, y'all. Just a little stuff like this. I have to break for a second. This phone is blowing up. I mean, it is blowing up. I don't know where these calls is coming from, because but I got it on silence this time, so they're gonna have to transfer over. And I'm not talking about the business line this time. I'm talking about the other line. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm so glad because what's Facebook? You all wouldn't have been able to get in nothing at this. But okay, so sometimes I'm in the rush and I forget, as you all can know, in Facebook. I forget to cut off the ringer, and so that's the reason why I'm seeing it. But nevertheless, it's easy, is what I'm saying, to be good to people and to show courtesy and to act like you like someone when they are doing something good for you. But the challenge is when it's time, when it's trying times, when you're missing loved ones, or when you feel like you don't have everything that you would like to have, or when you, in this case, in our situation, being in this country where we worried about another pandemic coming or thinking about it, it's so much out here that can get our minds going and stressed out. Or how well your relationship, guys, how you doing, Sister Cynthia? Is when the relationship is not going well and it's unhealthy, the children are acting out and you don't know what to do with that. It's just so much. They're not giving you the raise that you know that you do because of the hard work that you do on your job. It's just so many things. But I'm here because I'm sitting here thinking about what was taking place up until I got to this point that made me say, I'm not finna trip about this different time zone that I got to come back on again. Hey, cousin Pinky, it's good to see you. Happy New Year's. But when I was looking at the news feed on my phone, it just kept popping up, and I'm seeing all these cases of the young women that's unfortunately killing their babies, and the cases where the men are abusing and killing the women, and it's just popping up all over the place. And I'm like, oh, Father, really? This is what we're doing? Hey, Sister Marie, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm like, Father, is this the season that we're in? And the first thing I had to think about was the chemical reaction and the distraction for those in this region. And this is also just so happened to be the time when they just rejected the mask being mandated here in St. Louis, Missouri. I don't know what's going on in you all state, in DC, Virginia, and all these other states that you all are in. Pennsylvania, I see Chi-Town in the house. I see quite a bit. You all can drop where you're from. I see St. Louis in the house. I see where else? I see Detroit in the house. Watch your mouth. I see. I don't know what's going on in you all state right now. I try to keep up with it as much as I can until you all share with me. I really don't like getting a lot from the news. I like hearing it from those from your different states. What's going on? We got Florida in the house. All right, now got a lot of family out there. My baby sisters out there in Florida, and plenty of cousins and uncles out there in Florida, different parts. Sex trafficking, yes, sex trafficking is a big major issue out there in Florida. Um, I watch the spirits that that gravitate. I'm forced to, Sister Marine, because I'm certified drug sex traffic um, awareness person as well. That happened some years ago. Um, it just so happened my home church that I grew up in, they was doing a program from out of Chi-Town. And so some things, some good things you all, the churches, some of the churches are doing some good things and participating in it. And the things that I heard and how they set these young ladies and young men up by using other young men and women. And then I noticed right when they changed the law, y'all watch this, pay attention. Wellness Wednesday, how you know to be well and how to know to watch out for your surroundings and the people that are around you all. I noticed that when that law had changed the year before last, where they were allowing adults to be with younger children. Watch this. I noticed some of the people that I knew of with those issues, how they rushed to move to Florida. They had not been delivered from wanting young girls. I noticed that. I mean, grown men. And I'm sure it was some women too, then, but for the most part, I know there's men gravitating to Florida because of that. Y'all, the things that we do not know, but we must pray about. Because some of these things, it has to happen in order for us, for some of our eyes to be open. And just because things are not found out today or this year doesn't mean that it ain't going to be found out later on. Y'all don't know the extent to where these spirits go and how just me knowing some of these things, personally knowing these things, how it could have messed my mind up where I wouldn't even be able to come before you all on a Wellness Wednesday. So yes, when I come before you all to share, to warn, to speak from different angles and different perspectives, it's because I hear and I see what's going on around us, just like some of you all do. And it does take a certain amount of bravery. It takes a certain amount of really trusting in your creator, in the God in you, that certain things that we share won't come back as something horrible for us. But hey, I got this thing in me that either you're going to stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. And I just refuse to fall for certain things that's going on for the love of money or for the love of attention. And I surely ain't going to hide behind spirituality and Christianity and all these other things to try and make it seem like I'm something that I'm not. I don't know how to do that, y'all. All praises and thanks be to my father, which his birthday would be on tomorrow, and my mother. They were raw people. Who they were behind closed doors is who they were when you seen them outside. And that's the real deal. And so I've been blessed and fortunate. I know I have been. That's the reason why you all hear me always give back honor. I know everybody's like, well, hey, everybody feel like their mama and their daddy wasn't. No, I'm able to do this, y'all. And I mean, this is part of my respect. I did this even when my mother and my father was alive. I gave honor to them. I didn't wait to them to die for you to hear about them. You all are hearing for the first time because I'm on this platform. The people around me already knew how much I loved my mother and how much I would just do whatever work, however hard, whatever I had to do for my mom and for my grandparents and for my family. And that was just always my plight. That's what made my heart feel good, knowing that the people around me that God placed in my life and that influenced my life was taken care of. Now, could I get to all of them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wish I could, because that's kind of like the thing that happened when you come from a huge family and everybody is copped around and you can't get to everybody like you want to. And yes, sometimes it brings about a whole lot of other problems. Sister Marine said facts, literally so easy to filter through our young people in this state. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, and they're on the hunt out there. And I'll be honest, y'all. That's the reason why I didn't move to Florida, because I knew I had young, beautiful girls, and I knew I had a young grandson, and at the time I knew I had stepsons too, and I just didn't feel like that. I'm gonna just say that since that came up, that's the reason why I knew it wasn't best to move out there, because especially if you're traveling parents and you're working and you have to put those children into the system. Common sense says for a parent that is really that know you, that you're not from there, and you can't say that you'll be able to have all eyes watching your children, it is best not to do it, not to take that chance. That's Russian roulette. And I'm a firm believer that our first duty, call of duty, is to taking care of the seed and the children that we place here. So it's outside of any other type of satanic and sick sadistic things that have or forces that have tried to come up against me. That's one that I stand solid on. Don't nothing else have to happen around me in order for me to know what kind of best decision that I need to make when it comes down to family decisions. And so I pray that you all do the same, even though it's so beautiful and sunny. But guess what? That's what they do. My sister and them, my cousin them, can I say like that? My sister them and my cousin them fill me in all the time of what's going on out there. And even they said, some of them being single, said that is not the place for a family, especially not in Miami, Florida either. That's a place to go visit. And you all, some of you all seen a visit there the year before last, but I could feel it in the atmosphere. This is not a place for someone that call themselves wanting to live a good moral life. And so now we have those of us, and now since we have America going through everything that we got going on now, and leaving the sunny states to try to go elsewhere across the countries and thinking that they're going to get rid of those spirits when they're not. This is where the spirit started, was in Africa. Everything that we wrestle with started there. And I know because I have clients and colleagues still here now that I speak to on a daily basis that have family that's there in all parts of Africa and all parts of where our people want to go. And we live to sit down and have these conversations, the men and the women. And guess what? The men are the most vocal. And I love my elders and my brothers that are honest about what's really going on and how what's happening to our people when they think that they're going to go there and have this great, better life. And here it is, your heart and your spirit is not in the right place at all. I don't care how much we try to act like we hook a Messiah in and saying that we know whose we are as a people. Whatever heart you had at home is the same heart that you're going to have when you go elsewhere. It takes some real serious repenting. And everybody can't cover us, y'all. We got to do that for ourselves. That's why when the crime is committed, think about it. When a crime is committed, unless you are an accomplisher, one that accomplished the person, you get the greatest crime happens to the person who actually did it. And then they can try and lie and put it on somebody else. And God knows they're good at that. Try to put them, but then it has to be proven that it was the other person. Well, I see that in the spiritual realm too. That's how it works with us and our Creator, for those who believe in God, and that at some day, sometime, even if it's just through being on this social media platform, we're going to have to be judged for the things that we said on here that now all of a sudden we forgot because we got into our emotions. We got into our emotions, and then here it is. If it wasn't in your heart to say it and do it, and if it wasn't coming from a pure place, then of course you're gonna come back with it. Of course you're gonna forget it. But when you saying something from the heart and you know that it's right, you know that's right, so you don't forget that, because that's part of your character. That's what helps help us to know you, to know me, and me to know you, based off of what the theme of your life is. See, the theme of my life cannot be to think that just because it gets hot in the kitchen that I'm supposed to just dart out and run. The theme of my life is not to give up on anybody, not my family, not my the other people in my life that I've been assigned to do. It's not in me. I'm not gonna hide behind trying to say that I got this mission. I've been ministering for a long time, and I can't hide behind that either, because I've been given the opportunity even before hand with them giving me an honorary doctorate degree, that I had the option to go and travel internationally to do missionary work. However, I looked deep into that, you all. This is foreign mission work that would have been in Haiti and all over Africa. And it was going to come with a nice, wealthy amount of money. And most of it was going to be done for free, honestly. However, when I looked a little deeper, I looked at the pictures that had been shown to me. I saw some of the same people that's part of them 12 families. Y'all hear me? With these 4 missions. That's over every type of organization in church. All of them was included. Hebrew, Christianity. I'm saying something, y'all. Baptist, Hindu, they from leaders from all spectrum were in one room that gathers together in New York City. I'm saying something, y'all. Lifting up a whole lot of money. And they were going to give me and others and anyone else that took those courses to get their doctors and PhDs in theology. They were going to give us a ceremony. But I was just so grateful that I had a prayer life at that time, even in the midst of being challenged about what I believe in by someone that was very close to me, too close to me. That I'm saying what I'm saying. I said, we can't do this. I said, look at that. Look at who will be giving us our awards if we take this trip. Look at who's behind this. Do you see this? Now that person act nonchalant, like they didn't care because they wanted the attention. They wanted to be able to travel and do what they want to do. But I had to remember that I have to ask unto God for myself. Not going to be able to go to him and say, well, you know what, that child that you gave me, Lord, was too distracted. Now, this is what I believe. I'm not going to be able to say, you know, that husband that you gave me, he was evil. He just wasn't right. I'm not going to be able to go. I got the answer for myself. And so that's the hardest thing. Think about it. Just think about when you go to the doctor and you find that there is something wrong with your body, something that's off, whether it be the blood pressure, your A1, your sugar levels is high, migraines, whatever it is. Can your wife come in for you and say how you feel? And here it is, you have a mouth to be able to speak for yourself. Can your mate come in? Can your mama and your daddy come in and tell the doctor how you feel? And you right there? Common sense tells you no. The doctor's going to look right at you and ask you, how do you feel? What did you eat today? What did you do? I just had a session where beautiful, I'm sure I can share this, but I can't share names or locations. Grandson, grown, got his own family and everything. Called in, he wasn't playing. He wasn't hearing, take his grandmama to the wellness retreat because the loads of many different ailments that she had going on in her body at 80 something years old was a lot. And I'm like, man, I'm going to really have to take out more time on this one. I got to be more strategic with this. So I was going to refer him. I'm going to refer him elsewhere, but he wasn't taking no fucking answer. He blew up that phone. He texted me, no, Dr. Chef. No, that's too disappointing. No, I can't go through nobody else. I was referred to. I gotta see. No, this is no. He said, you don't understand. He said, I said, calm down, brother, calm down. Because he didn't understand that I understood. But I heard him out. He's like, if this woman, my grandmama took care of me since I was 5. If she hadn't taken me in, if her and my granddaddy hadn't taken me in, I don't know where I would be. I would have been messed up. He said, I believe in the healthy way. I believe in this, and I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. I believe in what you do. I know that I know you're the one that's able to help me. And I'm like, wow, this brother is serious. And so I said, brother, you know what? I said, let me check my schedule. Let me see what I can work out. Let me see. I can't give you no guarantees, but just let me see. Because the one thing I can't do is allow my emotions, because I feel you. I'm like, I feel you. I can't allow myself to take on a task that I know is so great that I give you half the service, because the attention that it's going to take for me to be able to deal with or get your granny to this place. So I asked him every question underneath the sun. But guess what, y'all? Out of all of the many questions that I asked to see if he really did have power of attorney over his grandmother, at the end of the day, when it was time for us to do that session, with all the many ailments that she had going on in her body, I had to speak to grandma. His intentions was good. Your intentions can be good, you all. But we as individuals have to answer for our own bodies, for what we do to our own selves, our own mind, our own spirit. Anybody trying to pass the buck, that's why you often hear me say enemy, adversary came at me. That's why you mostly hear me say there's very few that get a chance to speak to me, and you know exactly whose I'm talking about. And when I say whose, it's more than one. But for the most part, I understand that it's a mind battle. It's an internal thing that we call stress, and it is the silent killer. I told you when my daughter left here, I just knowing me, even though I knew a year in advance, I knew in my spirit, I knew in my mind, I knew God spoke it to me right there at my mother's funeral. You got 1 year left with her. I did everything that I could. I forgot about it. I did. I had to be reminded of it. And in that 1 year, it was made. Can I use the term hella hard? Distractions from places that it's like the enemy knew. That negative energy knew, and it was just trying to create more and more and more of a problem. And I'm like, I hope that what I heard and what I saw is not true. Now, granted, I was able to do some things more than what I was able to do prior to that time. But I'm saying that to say, but still, when it's time for autopsies and everything to be done, they had to do it on my daughter. They had to do it on my mother. I couldn't stand in the gap for them, even though we share some of the same DNA. That's how you all have to see this journey of wellness, of health and wellness. You have to answer for yourself. This is the reason why you can't put it on. I'm going somewhere with it. This is the reason why we can't put it all on Big Pharma. We know better now. Well, we don't know everything, Dr. Chef. I know I hear it. We don't know everything. You ain't got to know everything. You just got to know enough to know that we have parasites within this whole entire body, and they got a mind, and they come from different entities and spirits in different places, and every different environment that you in have a different type of parasite. Certain foods are more parasitic than others, and it will make you crave certain things. So that means that you have to have the mind to remember some of the things that wellness coaches and us naturopaths share with you, like what is a food that cleanses the gut, that helps cleanse the gut first and foremost, that we know, especially for those of us who's in the winter season, like we are here in St. Louis. Dark green leafy vegetables. They cleanse and they sort. So that's why you see a salad being given. Even think about it, even here in America now. They know to put a little side salad after they done sit there and gave you that big, unhealthy, nasty raw. And I call it nasty because I don't think most of you guys would eat it if it wasn't seasoned and herbed up, and if you didn't have your A1 sauce. Depth of a meat, what we call meat flesh. You and me eating that pork sandwich if it didn't have no flavor. I'm talking to my melanated people today, and then even some of my Caucasian brothers and sisters, some of them won't even eat now without seasoning. A lot of them want to come to us to get some real savory food. I'm sitting up here, I'm like, you have to know, if they have sense enough to put a small salad on the side that it helps sweep that gut and cleanse that gut, then how much more for those of us who are getting this extra information about how we need to eat to live. I said it beforehand on Motivational Monday that I couldn't put everybody on the same regimen. I know better. I can't speak for other people, whether I work with them or not. I cannot speak. I have a conscience that God has given me that I am held accountable for myself. I've had more than enough of my fair share just within the past 5 years alone of counseling people in their health and wellness all over the world, and not just trying to use my products, which I will get to my products in a minute, you all, not trying to use products and making you all think for 1 second that that's going to be the cure all and be all. Because once they shut these things down, you're going to have to know which foods to store up and which foods to eat that will be nourishing to your body. And more importantly, you're going to have to get to a place where you learn how to fast as well. And I know we don't like that term fast. But if you can start 1 day out the week of just pushing back the plate, and I mean this for everybody, whether you in your BMI or not, whether you be big or small, if you can push back the plate and only drink when necessary, water, or possibly a little herbal tea, little non-decaffeinated, organic, green tea, black tea, then you will start feeling yourself have more control over your body. And that's part of exercising that mind too. Once you tell it to do, it's no different than going into a dream when you have a nightmare. Some people don't sleep well because they got so much on their mind. I used to be one of them. For years, I could not sleep. I stay up to 3, 4 a.m. in the morning because I could literally see. I'm sharing something with you all. I could literally see things that was going on around the world. I wake back up. I will wake back up the next day, next couple of days, or the next week. And I look at the world news and I see it on there. I'm like, and this had been happening since I was a little girl. And I'll be scratching my head because, and the place where I didn't want to go to sleep because I didn't know what I was going to see next. I could hear children in agony. I could see things happening to children and people that I did not know. And before I know it, week, months, sometimes months down the line, there it go. It's right there. And I'm like, that's exactly what I saw in my dream. So I'm sharing my testimony here with you all on this Wellness Wednesday to let you know how when you have those type of abilities, some of you all may have them, it can make you lose your mind. It can literally, and that means that we are able to identify that, and I'm able to be able to relate to others that go through those type of mental illnesses or what we call mental dysfunctions. But in actuality, it's really another thing. It's an ability that we have to foresee certain things before they happen because we are internalizers. We care, we love in a deep place, but clinically, you got these people in these so-called educational system that calls it a mental dysfunction. That's why I had to call it that. In college, we call that from where we at, we call it you crazy. They lost their mind. You're right, because you don't have the mind that you want to have. So, of course, you lost the mind that you would have wanted to have. How about that? I'm saying it, so this is the reason why I speak a lot too on mental health and wellness, because you may not be able to foresee certain things happening, whether they be good or bad. But if you are speaking death and you're speaking horrible things into your life based off of your past, based off of your childhood trauma that have not been dealt with properly, or based off of what just happened to you yesterday, based off of what you are experiencing in the now, it will overshadow how well you treat your body. It overshadows what you see and what you're allowing in your ear canals that can control how you view things in life. See, I've never been able to have that luxury. I've always had to see things as it is. And I do believe that it is because I put it out there. Father, don't allow me to be deceived by anything that's coming to veer me off the path that you have purposed me to be here to do. And it didn't have anything to do with me coming before you all to speak. Had nothing to do with me speaking and in certain engagement. Had nothing to do with whether or not I was ever going to be a millionaire or billionaire. Nothing to do with that. I meant it from a pure place. And you can still pray that even if you don't get it as a child, you can still pray that in your adult life. We have a scripture that I used to like, that I still do, that says, create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit in me. When you pray those type of prayers, that's exactly what happens, and that is a journey. And what I've learned is that what happens is that this system that we live in, they've learned that about us as a people, especially the chosen people. And they are trying to introduce chemicals that throws off the mind, that throws off the cells and the way we are communicating to earth, the way we are communicating to the heavens of the heavens. Some say outer space, and where it dumbs us down, it desensitizes us. When you look at how we are as a people in a whole, and where you can say, where here it is now. It's not the famous saying across the board for all health and wellness people, whether it be the so-called death care industry, medical doctors, or whether it be a nurse, whether it be naturopath, whether it be healer. All I'm saying, about 80 to 90% of our people are obese, overweight, or sickly, or have some type of disease. Is that not so? Can I get a yes? I'm going somewhere with this. Is it not so that most of us agree that most of America is sick in some shape, form, or fashion because of the different chemicals and foods that we have in the air and the pollution in the air? Is that not what we're hearing? We're one of the most lowest functioning countries, educational-wise, technology-wise, and throughout the country. Other countries have us outbeat. Is this not true? Okay, thank you, Sister Dorothy. She said yes. Now, from speaking to you from some experience as a certified drug counselor, if that be the case, hear me, y'all. Thank you, Sister Brooks. How do I look going to an addict, a heroin or crack addict, one that's hooked on prescription drugs or been taking it for whatever reason, and telling you, you just go eat fruit, you'll be all right. You can do it. The Bible said. Will a crack addict or someone that's hooked on a chemical or got chemical imbalance can change that in a day, in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month? Is that common? That's a simple reason why I cannot put all of you all on fruit. We ain't even got to your gut, if whether or not you acidic. I ain't even got to none of that. If you're on prescription drugs that's been prescribed to you for whatever reason, yes, you will get a chance to experience a temporary relief of your system feeling rejuvenated. And another reason why I can't do that to all of you all is because I got to know what kind of activity that you all do throughout the day. Once you get superfoods in you, if you get hope to some good fruit, then you got to have somewhere to exert that energy. I know. Y'all see how much I move around in this chair? That's a tell-all too. People that have high alkaline foods in them, unless they're studying the art of meditation and martial arts, is one of the reasons why I'm taking the martial arts class and how to be still. The most common sign that someone has a lot of fruit is that they move a lot, because the natural sugar gives you energy. The athlete that is more plant-based and fruit-based runs the fastest, is the strongest. Is that not so? In martial arts, a lot of them don't eat a lot of meat. I ain't say all, a lot of them. But I know it's the ones that are on more vegetarian, more fruitarian, they're the most strongest, the quickest, and it doesn't matter how small they are. You get my point where I'm going here? So it would be crazy for me to sit here. I'm going to read that in a minute. It'll be crazy for me to sit here and act like out of 20-some years, almost 30 years of watching how our people operate, and what fruits and vegetations and even vitamins and minerals do to our people, for me to sit in the education that I have, but more so the hands-on experience that I have, to sit here and think, well, I don't watch the young and the old. For me to sit here and tell you that you can do the same thing that another person does, when we don't even do that in our everyday life. That's why everybody don't have the same job. You don't pick the same mate as nobody else. We don't do nothing the same practically outside of have to get outside of being forced to have to buy some of the same things because that's all they're producing. So that's the only choice we got. We won't even pick the same car. If you do, you might want another color. The mind. We're not hardwired to do the same thing, especially if there is a chemical imbalancement. So if you've been on artificial foods all your life or most of your life, and chemicals, natural flavors, there's a process that the body has to go through in order for you all to be able to be successful. Why do you think it's so many thousands of different so-called dietary plans? Why do you think so many are falling off? You've already heard the confessions. See, I don't see none out here yet. You all share it with me if you can. That's telling the truth about this hypocrisy, even in the health and wellness so-called industry. Once it becomes an industry, it's more about the money. I said it. And that sickens me because I started off where it wasn't about the money. Where it was about actually seeing people get healed and well, and not just 1 or 2 or 3 out of thousands. If it's 1 or 2 or 3, and you got the perfect regimen, then that means that it should be hundreds on top of hundreds. You ain't got to beg nobody to say nothing. That's how that works. When I worked in the nursing field of nursing, not one of my patients smelled good. My whole unit smelled good. And we're talking about people that wasn't even on a healthy regimen or diet. It's because when I took care of my clients, it wasn't no bells constantly going off. Bing, 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 bing. She ain't brought my food. Bing, 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 bing. She ain't changed me. Bing, 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 bing. We always knew who wasn't on their job based off of how many people that were still sick. So if I knew that even in the death care industry, how much more would I know that in the healthcare industry? This is why I can't get excited, y'all. And it's not just because everybody don't want to do it. I don't believe that. It's because you all are getting mixed messages from all of us because there's a different spirit and everybody is not doing it from a righteous place. To do that, I have 4 children I birthed. And I helped raise several others. And not a now one of those children ate the same foods. Like the same thing outside of sweets. I grew up next door, 14 cousins. My auntie, thank God, my auntie Bernice is real smart. She knew how to shut it down. But she was smart about knowing how to let them know, if you don't eat this, you ain't getting nothing else. If you don't eat your food now, it's going to be gone because your brother, your sister going to get it. And it ain't going to be nothing left. So they didn't have a choice. But even with all of those different mini mouths, I noticed everybody liked certain different things. And here they are. Everybody had the same mother and the same father. So I paid attention to stuff like that. Coming up, we have to learn how to apply. If you're naturally from this earth, you're supposed to apply natural common sense. Some things, it does not take a degree. It does not take you having to work in the healthcare field for us to get. And this is why I speak in this manner from the mind, so that you all are not getting so overly caught up in all of these other things that they're having that's set to distract us from paying attention to your own body and how you feel. And yes, the body can be truly manipulative. You can feel like you're okay one day, and the next day you're gone because you just overdid it with a particular prescription drug, or with a particular, or too much salt, too much of this or too much of that. But it's up to you to pay attention to that. I have to address this because I get asked. I have to address it, and I know why I'm getting, and I know why I'm getting asked it, and it's okay. I'm thankful that I have no accountability to no type of organization that can gag me, none whatsoever, about what I can say and what I can't say that I know to be true and that I can prove to be true. This is the reason why I say we have to do individual. I don't care what it takes. Just like the brother that I just shared, when he wasn't taking no for his grandmama not to get treated. And guess what? She's already off of the 2 blood pressure meds that she was on in less than 1 week. In less than 1 week of me coaching her, she's already off of 2 meds after being bedbound and feeling good and great, more mobile and everything. But they're diligent about sticking to the plan. And no, I don't have her on all fruits. No, I do not. Certain things does not agree with her system. When you are in tune and when you truly love and care about our people, you will risk losing $100 or so or a little money to take out the time to make sure that our people are all well. I'm not impressed by this. To me, that's like how when I grew up in church and I would hear a lot of people testifying about what God blessed them with. But I also I noticed the 1 or 2 or 3 that was testifying, and I noticed all the rest of them that was sitting down. Ooh, the Lord bless me to get that check. Oh, the Lord bless this compliment mail. The Lord, I thank God. The Lord helped. He saved me. I'm not saying that all of it was phony. But I did notice the ones that usually had the most of the tests, that had the most horrendous things happening, most of the time they were caught up in some lies. Most of the time they did just like getting attention. Unfortunately, most of the time they would be the main ones kicking up a whole lot of devilishness. And you'd be like, didn't you just got through finish testing lying? I couldn't say that, y'all. I was still a young lady, and we got to respect our people. So I did learn certain things first from the church, being around a whole bunch of different type of personalities and characters. I did. Learning in school, on the job, just like you all. When you pay attention, when you care, you study the behavior of the people. We are not in church. If we despise what the churches are doing today so much, why are we trying to implement that into business and into health and wellness today? We despise it so much. Why are you trying to? It's like putting everybody in the choir on the same robe. Why are we trying to unify each other to do the same thing? You got people on the Daniel fast. This is the month of January where most churches and religious organizations and groups get together to try to practice some type of healthy regimen. I said most. Everybody can't do the Daniel fast. Every case is different. You B blood type, you're not even supposed to be eating cashews. You're not even supposed to be caught up with avocados. There's certain things that you're not supposed to be taking into your system if you want the best, healthiest result for yourself. How you know this, Dr. Shell? Did they teach you that in college? Did they teach you that in other? No, they did not teach me that, guys. I learned that from paying attention to my clients and my people that knew their blood types. Well, you can change the DNA. Yes, you can to a certain degree. You can. Yes, your DNA can be altered, especially when you change environment. Yes, it can. But that mind, it still has to be detoxed. That gut still has to be detoxed. I just spoke to another naturopathic partner of mine. He's an elder now. Have worked with some of the best all over the world, especially Africa. And he married one as well. Um, and he shared with me that even when they used to go to the military, there used to be a section of them. There used to be a group of those that came from the military that would go off to the shamans in certain parts of Africa just to cleanse and detox themselves, because they noticed that when the ones who didn't, they were going home with the same murderous spirit, the same psychotic, what we call all these mental diseases going on, and still practicing the same thing that they were practicing in the military, getting up the same time, doing all the different type of things that they were doing in the military. They was taking it back home to their new wives and to their families. And all the families were saying something is different about this person. But they went off, the ones that went off to the shamans to detox, and they had them to give them the herbs and the different foods that agree with their bodies. And they took them into deep meditation, and even what we call um, um, casting out demonic forces that were in them. Because remember, they're in there around all different people with all different walks of life. They're sleeping right next to them. That's an energy. That's an exchange of spirits. And depending on how hard they had it in there, depending on how hard-headed certain ones was in there, going somewhere, or those who were trying to run away because they knew that they had been getting into some mess, and they tried to go to the military to get some discipline. They weren't just going there to get a paycheck. That determined just how worse they was going to come out and how bad they were going to be when they came out. And what happened is that most of the men went in and came out and went right into marrying somebody before they detox, before anything, before any real help was given. And now I left out one other major thing. All them different chemicals and shots that were given to them, they were fully vaccinated and experiment on, even with vaccines that are not even approved to even be here given to us. They were given in the military. How you know this, Dr. Shell? Got a lot of military clients. Got a lot of them in the family. Several Marines, several in the Army, several in the Navy, several of them Army Reserve, some in the Coast Guard. Yes, I do. They're not lying. I see it. I lived with it. So you all have to be careful, is what I'm saying. When how you mind your own business, which is your own health and wellness, and where you get your information from. You got to be able to filter through the filth. Because this is the time that we live in now, where folks are so desperate that they will even take and use health and wellness and sit here and give you wrong regimens that's not good for you and not healthy for you, out of the name of just saying, well, I did a good deed. Well, at least I didn't give them no pork. When it's a known fact, and I'm not promoting pork none whatsoever, but it is a known fact that there are some that have it from time to time, and they eat salad and fruits and other foods, and they living longer than some of the people that claim to be yo-yoing back and forth with this vegan and the so-called plant-based diet. It's the wonder that they call it a diet still. Because it's in our minds to know, and it's core in our minds and our DNAs to know that even having healthy products, lines of products out, still, we're not used to having to take these things on a regular basis just to get a little nourishment, a little extra nourishment in us. We're still accustomed to this, a fully understanding that this is supposed to come from our food. So you don't always take these things. That's the reason why we wait until we usually get into 30s and 40s and fun. That's for those of y'all that are blessed to have parents that were always health conscious and found some really good products to help you with. But note that that's not the same thing as the real thing. Except for when, like I said, that's the reason why I stress my Advanced multivitamin, that it has no artificial nothing. It's coming abstracted completely from that particular fruit, vegetation, seaweed, whatever that's in here is coming from there. You can taste that. That's the reason why I had to wait so long. I'm going to start wholesaling out for some, because I'm hearing too many now emailing me and texting me in and calling in and saying that they can't find a good one. And I believe that. I believe it. That's why it took so long when I run out. That's why it takes so long to remake it, because other people are trying, but they're clearly not leaching it out here, especially not in the melanated community. They're not putting it in our stores, y'all. And they charging us for it just to put it together. Because they're not worried about us. They want to depopulate. And that's a real thing, y'all. This is why they created the military. It's not just to protect the country. No, to protect their assets. It wasn't to protect us. If that be the case, it wouldn't be so many innocent people, standbys, getting killed every time they come in to go get their oil or them natural resources in the different countries. And it's not just our country that's doing it; it's other countries that's doing it too. Going fighting over minerals in the earth. Shouldn't that tell you something? So everybody that got the goods, it's just like when a robber want to come and get good stuff, the good stuff. Where they go? Do they go to the poor neighborhood where the gangsters in the hood? What causes that? Or do they go to the nicer neighborhoods? They try to get into the nicer neighborhoods and get some stuff. Like this so-called income tax time. Everybody know that everything coming out there, as long as ain't no snow on the ground, you got to be looking over your back, trying to make sure ain't nobody kind of carjack you. I know here you do. Gotta make sure ain't nobody trying to get your goods. So that's what's gonna happen in all of the lands that flow with so-called milk and honey. They coming for it. That's just the way it works. And that means that in order for it to be protected, that means that somebody's gonna have to fight. Use some common sense, y'all. You want to be in the midst of the fight? You want to be in the midst of the war? You better get ready. We got to get ready. Some of us is going to live to see this. As they used to say, it's about to go down. It's going down now. We got to have history. They're going to make sure that their history repeats itself. It's the cycle of life. We can Haka Messiah and hallelujah and assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, and we can all praises be to everything all you want. We are getting ready to have to experience what our parents before us experienced, y'all. And what did they do then? They got their families together. They didn't leave their families. They gathered together with their families. I would never want to be nowhere where it's a bunch of strangers where I don't know the culture and how everything go, and expecting them to love me enough to care for me. Like, come on now. That's not common sense. You better have some special gifts and abilities. You better know how to fight. You better know how to say a prayer to the point to where you can see some walls move or some bullets stop. You better show enough be a superhero. Because they ain't going to care nothing about your voice. They ain't going to care nothing about you talking. Me talking, nobody talking. Just talking. That ain't going to get you nowhere. Having some skills, knowing how to sew, gardening, knowing how to cultivate something, knowing how to get some stuff together, knowing how to fight, knowing where the safe places are is what people are going to be. That's resourceful. We won't be able to even use our American dollars soon. Y'all, we have to pay attention. These are the things that's causing mental distress. And even though some of you all may not be directly experiencing it, it's in the atmosphere. Just as I'm speaking of it, many others are too. And it is coming as a warning, not as a scare tactic, as a means to, you know the saying, it's best to be ready than to have to get ready. Well, but they've been saying that since 2012, Dr. Shell. I knew it wasn't going down in 2012. I'm sorry. I saw how crazy this stuff was. I was with somebody at the time that, let's put it like that, there was the end of a separation then too. Try to hem me up with some Hebrew folks that really wasn't no Hebrew. I'm going to tell it. That now locked up in jail now. I got my butt up out of there so fast. I said, this ain't right. I called it in. This ain't right. Something ain't right about these folks. They was of our persuasion. One an author, the other minister of music. Our people get to doing some crazy stuff. And I see, and I just pulled on news where somebody that got some university of Cosmo, all this stuff, and they got people going out telling them that Arizona is supposed to be Africa now, and they leading these flocks of people, and some of them been found murdering and killing and stealing and all different type of stuff. And now the person is some of y'all may even know who I'm making reference to. I don't know the person, but I know they're supposed to be from this area. Some crazy stuff come from out of here in this so-called show me state. And those of us who live here say it and know it. Some crazy, it makes you wonder what kind of spirit is really here. Well, we got so many Jim Jones spirits coming from out of here. Yeah, I said it. And when you look at the people that's following them, you can tell that they're gone in here. They're gone. Yeah, I said it. So y'all have to be careful. We have to be careful because this was desperateness. This is what stress. This is what the coward spirit. This is the spirit that's out here. And everybody wants somebody that can lead and guide them in the safe place. We know what the intents are. It's no different from a baby that's waiting on for the mama to give them the breast to breastfeed or to give them the bottle to give them it. That baby can't rely on nobody but mama to do that for them. That's how some of our people are when we're waiting for another grown person to lead and guide us. And we have to get to a place where you can mentally, and this Wellness Wednesday, you have to get to a place where you channel that brain. You can speak to that mind and say, mind, my mind, lead and guide me and direct me and allow me to listen to that is righteous, that is truly righteous. Whatever's off, help me to see it. You just spoke into the God in you. Did I just say you just spoke to the God in anybody else? No. Did I just say that you just spoke into the God of Baptist? Nope. Did I say you just spoke into the God of Pentecostal? Nope. Did I just say you spoken to the God of the stars? Nope. The birds? Nope. It's a plane. Y'all know that I love you all. I know some of y'all seen the stuff and y'all know it. Some of y'all done seen it in your families. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. The truth shall truly set you free. Free indeed. And it's not the type of freedom that we think that it is by hopping the plane and going somewhere. It's not that kind of freedom. It's that kind of freedom to where you could take a deep breath and be like, whew, glad I didn't follow that fool, that clown. Whew. It's like the few people that were trying to get out when Jim Jones took them off and told them all to drink and drink. I found out that some of the people was on to it when they first started telling them to get the injections that they were given, that this is what God said to do. Some of them were actually trying to get out of the camps that they were led to. Some of them was trying to get away, but they had guns, people with weapons and military again, there stopping them from leaving. Only a few were able to make it out. Anytime you go somewhere and you be a part of somebody and they looking at your babies, they looking at your kids, your girls, your nieces, your nephews, and they got to be wished away somewhere. See, I watched that type of spirit too. The moment I saw that spirit, I said, yep. Look, watch my face, y'all. The moment I saw that spirit, I said, yeah, Father, you get me up out of here and get me up out of here fast. Because if you don't, I'm going to do something that I know you're not going to like. And he got me out of it, y'all. Yeah, I had to cry about it. Yep, I did. I had to suffer. Yep, I did. because I was supposed to pay. I'm telling you all to do what I had to do, what I still have to do. I said, man, I said, Father, but what I'm doing is good. It's helping people. He said, yeah, but you're not doing it with the right people. Like, what do you mean? But this is the good is going to outweigh the bad, right? As long as I don't personally get involved, shouldn't I be good? See, here's the downfall of when you raised in something to believe something. Notice how I said that. And Thessalonians, well, our Bible thumpers. I gotta call it Bible thumpers because they're not really scholarly, unfortunately. I believe that when you speak certain things and when you read things and you take in certain things, you take in the spirit of it, whether or not it be true or not. Did you hear me? I just said what I believe because I've seen it manifest itself in that way. So if you believe that you from a certain tribe, that's how you're going to start acting, dressing, and doing, and that's what you're going to try to be, even though it ain't no proof that you are that. But because in your mind, you believe it, some of them people look like you're going to go over to that way. Might not find out till years later that you're not from that tribe. Most of us have been raised to believe in something. Most of us as melanated people have been raised to believe in something. And so once you believe it, meaning receive that in your mind, when you're reading it, you're taking it in, you're listening to it. The mind automatically operates based off of what you just fed it. The eyes operate off of what you are used to seeing. And now this becomes what we call a brain. It's not a brainwashing yet. It's a programming of the mind. This is the program that I'm used to seeing. So this is what I'm accustomed to. When some of us grew up on Brady Bunch, The Facts of Life, A Different World, and all this stuff, and we thought that that's the way it was going to be in college. Oh, we thought this is the way a family's supposed to be. Didn't know that they was at that time taking drugs. Didn't know the stress that they was putting on. They weren't even getting paid much to do that. But we thought that was the life because it seemed to be better than our life. Right? I'm saying this to say that we have to ask God to give us the spirit of discernment more so, to where we're not getting so caught up in just being happy that we see something that look like us or that looks like how we want to look. How about that? Because we show them they're taught to do a whole lot of self-hating. Anytime you start seeing people talking about skin color and body types a lot, you know they got self-hate. I said it. A lot of self-hate. I know what I'm talking about. I had a person I know for some years. And I don't even want to say what position that they had in my life because I'm not sharing it to have to blast them. But they didn't like the color of their dark skin. They didn't like their nose. They didn't like their hair. They didn't like nothing. And every day they said it. And they didn't like the parent that looked like it either. So they made sure they married the opposite of what they, because they said they just didn't like it. They didn't even want to go to a hot place because they didn't want to be darker. Self-hate, y'all, is real. Well, this person turned out to be a minister, assistant pastor. Didn't like the color of the children or nothing. Self-hate is real. It wasn't until the person had to go out the country. Now, this is a case that was some years ago, but it recently happened, you all. So it's not who you think that I'm speaking of. That they went, but it's almost similar. God, this is something that I'm speaking this. Y'all pray for me while I'm saying this, because I want to word this right. Because I want you to get the message. It took them to have to go on a missionary trip in order for them to call back and say, you were right. She was right. Everything this woman said was right about who I am as a person, about what I'm supposed to be eating, what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to do, and this and that and that and the other. Even to get them to the point to where they say, I'll I'll go ahead and take whatever natural thing that you recommend. It took 20-something years, almost 30 years, to get them to see that. Because that's just how messed up the mind was and the perception and what they believed. Self-hate is real, y'all. And you know it because they won't ever really, truly speak highly of where they come from. Now, the state that I live in, like some of you all, a lot of people don't like being here because it's very competitive. Everything comes through St. Louis, Missouri. Some call this place the Mecca because this is where the oldest pyramid is, right there in East St. Louis, y'all, where I'm born and raised. Y'all always hear some of y'all outside of those of y'all that have heard all the negative things that the publicity have put out there and that may have been there or may have family here. There is no denying that the people from there have some resilience out of this world. There's no denying it. Jackie Joyner Kersee just proved that. Don Harper and them, all the different ones that came, Tina Turner, all of them, Miles, all of them. You see the resilience that come with it. Somebody said, where did that come from? My father was one. Happy birthday to him for this month. Also, all my January kings and queens and babies. There is energy here. There's a symmetry here. And either you connect with it or you don't. Either you can see it in our actions and how we move. We are passionate people. Everybody's not like that. That's the reason why so many of us from here can pull in a crowd, or those who have been through here are able to entertain so well. Yeah, I'm telling the truth. That's not by coincidence. That is because it's the environment that we are in. That is the spirit that is here. It's the reason why they call it the show me state. Let me show off. But it's also because there's minerals here that people from all walks of all over the world want to get to. There's documentaries on it, y'all. Between now and the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see it change. And you're going to remember that Dr. Schiff said that they call this the Mecca. No matter what war take place, they're going to try to preserve this. Because of all the different types of energies and minerals that come from this. They're trying to protect that. They've already done experience robbing the lands, all the other many lands. That's the reason why part of Egypt is not Egypt anymore. They've already assigned to the scientists and different ones, archaeologists, they've taken over that now. They've taken over all these other places where these things were supposed to be. Don't let them fool y'all. They lie. This media will lie. We all know it now. They will lie. Just to mess with your mind so you will never feel healthy and well in the mind. Ain't nothing wrong with you if it's coming up in that dream and you ain't high on no prescription drugs or on too much nicotine. And even some drugs will cause you to have to see certain things. Yep, I said it. Some chemicals will take and release what's coiled in your DNA and will allow you to see certain things and you can't make out what it is. And this is the reason why it's important for us not to get high. Because it ain't nothing that you can do when it's time to come down low. It leads you at a place where now you're trying to go back into it again in order to see what's happening in the future. Now, that's not everybody's experience, but there are some, meaning what's already in you, it ignites it. It causes it to develop more. This is the reason why it is important for us to not take in other chemical foods and MSGs. Right here up the street from me, there is an international store that's right across from one of the most expensive colleges and medical research hospitals in the world. The Chinamen come through here, they've taken over. They come from all walks of the earth to go to this college. And in that store, which is the international food store that you can get all different type of superfoods and fruits from all over the world is there because they're feeding the foreigners that go, the young people that go to the college there, and to those who move out of from different countries to come to go to this college. When you walk into that store, they got a whole big old bag down there of MSG, monosodium glutamate, big 6 pounds of it. Why? I've had other chefs to say, "Oh yeah, the restaurants live by it. They buy them out." So why? He said, "Why?" Because they want you to come back for their food. It's aspartame, the key ingredients in crack cocaine that makes you crave it. You wondering now, you know you had enough of that fried whatever you went and got that was fried. You know you had enough of that rice, but something won't make you stop eating it because they got the MSG in there and they sprinkle it over the food like it's diatomaceous earth or something. But notice they make sure that too it looks just like the healthy things that kills off parasites. So you guys, when you're doing that, it's best to get a little bit of diatomaceous earth to sprinkle over your food. It don't have no taste. It's white too. You can sprinkle it up in your hair products and help your hair to grow. All that. California done banned it because they use it to help to purify the plants, and there's 2 grades of it. Yeah, it's just so much out here that we can't cover it in one segment, and that's the reason why people are trying to give you the watered down version of it now. That's the reason why they're trying to simplify even the more so, because they know that there's not no one way to fix the sickness that's in this country or any other country for that fact. There's no one way to fix it. Every time you cleanse and every time you eat, there's going to be a flood of chemicals coming at you. So it's going to have to be that your mind has to help heal the body. Mind over matter. You can actually go into the body mentally and tell it what you want it to do. Yeah, I just said it. Somebody said, "Oh man, Dr. Chef talking some crazy stuff." I need to get on your schedule. Yes, ma'am. And Sister Dorothy, let me read your thing. I've been researching eating by blood type, and I have certainly gotten surprised of some of the things that I'm not supposed to consume according to my blood type. Absolutely. Only thing that I can't prescribe to most of you all is how, just for instance, with B blood type, they recommend all these different meats and fishes. That would have been okay, taking the skirting out some of the religious debates about it, if the meat had been clean that we have here. I will go as far as to say that there is such things as carnivores, people that are more accustomed and body type seem to do well. The hunters were known for that, for eating meats. I will say that. However, there are so many more tribes, though, that are able to eat plant-based and fruits, and they were able to thrive just as long. But understand that I believe that when that research, when that came about, that they were not talking about eating meat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They weren't talking about eating meat every day. But of course, you won't hear them specify that. And as you notice, they made them have to say that it's not per se scientifically proven. See, they made them change and rewrite the book and say that it's not completely accurate because they don't want you to know that it matters what's in your DNA. Even though, yes, your DNA can be altered and changed some when you eat a more plant and fruit-based diet, way of healing it, rather. Yes, it can change some, but it won't change in its entirety. Okay? Meaning that you're going to still crave according to what the body and what your parasites have been accustomed to having. Remember, there were one that already stated how many times they had to cleanse in order to to y'all know I experienced that, where I experienced my maid at the time having to cleanse the 11 times in order to get parasitic cleansed out of them, and they weren't even eating meat. But the parasites that were in there, coming mostly from dough and vegan junk food, had just as ooh, let me put it to you like this: it was worse than what I had seen dealing with some meat eaters, with most meat eaters. The side effects was worse to me as far as what it does to the mind. It was worse. What it does to whatever spirit and energy that's already lurking there, that was, and I know that it had to come from chemicals induced from immunization shots and years of it. And then when you add childhood trauma and all these other and guilts and sins and ungodliness, you can imagine what I had to deal with. Or maybe you can't. And I don't really want your mind to have to really even go there, really, because you might have a mental setback. Y'all got enough on your plate to deal with your own. But I'm telling you, this stuff is real. So the detox that body to eat more fermented foods would be best. Things just jarred that brings out the prebiotic and the probiotic and the postbiotics out of the food is most best to help feed the good parasites. There is a such thing as good parasites that come to kill and ward off anything that's toxic to the body, that comes to break down or cause you to be sick. There are thousands of different parasites. That's what we start off as in the belly of the mummy, and coming from the sperm of the male. We start off as little bitty little little worms. Well, that multiplies, and in that gut, whatever you feed it the most, that's what it's going to crave. And if there's not been a really good cleanse before you thinking that your fruit can do that, oh, you got parasites in there that they loving to see that fruit come through, because it's good sugar, it's hype, it's ready. And like, give us some more, give us some more. And so it's gonna make you work out, it's gonna make you get out energized, you're gonna lose a little weight, and then bam. All of a sudden you're waking up in cold sweat, like, ooh, I gotta have me. Let me go get that ding dong. Yeah, I done this long enough. How you know, Dr. Shell? Because I've seen it happen too many times before. How you know, Dr. Shell? Because I tried it and it's happened to me before years ago. How you know that? That's why I say anybody that's lying and trying to say that stress is not one that won't equate the stress that could come from what you're doing to yourself and not dealing with issues that personally that you have within yourself first, and guilt of what they've done to others, can cause you to self-sabotage yourself. And it can cause you to be extreme. Where every time you look up, in order for you to try to get a regimen, you're thinking about all the sins and all the dirty deeds that you've done, to the point to where you're trying to destroy the flesh. And in some ways you're trying to please it, because that's what sweetness does. Sweets make you feel, get that dopamine, gets you happy. And that's why I'm always moving. I got sweets. I found me some seeded watermelon. Y'all, it's right here on the top of me. I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing with you. Can't wait to die. You see that seed up in there? I don't know if y'all can see that seed. What that little seed? There's a seed up in there. Can't wait to dive up in there. I'm going to blend some of it and put some of my advanced multivitamin mix up in there, because it tastes sweet and good. And I'm going to tear it up. Yeah, in the wintertime, I'm going to tear it up, because I had put on about 10 pounds that I didn't need, because I'm sitting up here doing all these other things. But now that I'm taking my martial arts class and working and moving things, back down, I'll get back down to my 110, 112, and trim it down good. But I told myself, in order for me to be healthy more in 2024, that I'm going to pay even closer attention to my gut health and what my body is calling for. So that means sometimes I may just do my herbal teas, my done decapitated herbal, real, all natural teas. Some days I may just do my fruit. And some days I may just stick to my greens and flush my system with my leafy, darker green vegetations and my and my mixed greens, all natural, and my bean sprouts, the pea sprouts, broccoli sprouts, those sprouts or the micro and the macro organisms that you need in order to help cleanse and nourish the body. It gives that body that good energy and good balance. And where I could chop up my beets up inside of my salad. I could make my own homemade salad dressing out of whatever I want to, whether it's mango or whether I want to make it out of coconut milk and a little bit of oregano and a little bit of thyme and all natural herbs that I'm gonna put in there with a little bit of zest of lemon, and I put that little dressing in there. I'm gonna pay more closely attention so I can be healthy more in 24. So no, I know I'm not. For those of y'all who wondering if I'm doing the all fruit, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Am I saying that you shouldn't? You can try it. If it worked for you, good. But I'm not putting all my people on the all fruit. No, I'm not. All my people can't take that. It's all my people can't even get real fruit. For one, can't even get all natural real fruit. Prime example. Sounds good. I love making my own salad dressing. Absolutely. This is what I had. This is another proof right here. Think I'm lying. Here you go. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I can say that on this one. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Remember those were saying, look at these apples. These are organic apples. Remember I promoted the start with the number 9 SKU? These are from Whole Foods. No, hold on. But these were apples. Make sure. No, these are some Trader Joe's, y'all. Look at this. These are from Trader Joe's. Organic apples. Right? Look at this. I'm showing this to y'all for a reason. These are why you have to be careful with eating the fruit. See that apple? Just a little soft, right? I'm going somewhere with this. This is Wellness Wednesday, y'all. Like, share, because this is important. Y'all made it to this point. I'm in now, y'all. I'm in. This is an organic apple. Trader Joe's. See how it look? How it look to y'all? Do it look okay? Just a little dented up, just a little softness, right? Uh-huh. I bought these for my apple pie that I was going to make for Thanksgiving time. That I call Thanksgiving, remember? What do y'all notice? These were not even in the refrigerator. I didn't preserve it. I found it in one of my buckets while I'm moving my stuff from out of one office to another. Look at that apple. Did y'all see that bag? Look at that bag. Look old. That's an old bag. Old bag. That's not a new bag. Did y'all do the calculation? I wasn't even expecting to see this. From the second week of November, I bought these. What do you notice that doesn't seem to be right? And these are all natural organic apples. Chill out, that's just a terrible. We got California in the house. Hey there. They're not rotten. These were supposed to fermentate. They're not rotten after being tucked away in the tuck. They slip down inside a tube covered with clothes. Following great teaching. Thank you, system. So you got to be careful, y'all, with these fruits that you're taking. And now my question is what Can I use the term without y'all crucifying me? And any of my preachers and ministers on there, they just pray for me. What in hell? Can I say that? What in hell is going on here? I gotta let my grandmama out now. And I ain't talking about the Tyler Perry show. I'm talking about my real great grandmama Madea. What is going on here? Where I could be here for almost 10 weeks, 2 months. Now, if I hold it to next Wednesday and the Wednesday after next, will it be rotten by then? Will it be fermenting then? This is an organic apple, y'all. Strew number 9. We have to be careful, even with your fruit. It's best to go pick it off of a tree from somewhere, farmer's market somewhere, and ask them. Or just sit one to the side and see where they're rotten. These are barely just a little bit of rotting, a little bit more sweetening here. You have to be careful. So no, you cannot. No, I'm not putting all my people on fruit. No, I'm not. I'm convinced that if I eat this apple now, good thing that I baked the ones where people say you shouldn't bake. I baked the 4 that I had back in November. Yes, I did. I baked it, so it's a good thing that I did. I won't be buying no more. No, I ain't say more. I said more on purpose. So y'all be careful. I looked at my watermelon and I was looking for seeds. The white ones are the female white seeds. The black ones is the masculine. They're supposed to be the male. And unless somebody else find out something that proves otherwise, then that's what my knowledge, that's what I know them to be. So you see white seeds on your watermelons, and then did you know that your banana is supposed to have seeds in it too? Have you seen the original banana? It's supposed to have seeds in it. Y'all ain't heard about that, huh? Y'all can be sitting here being gagged. I can't try to cover up what they're not telling us. No matter where. You don't hear nobody talking about that. And you wonder why you can't stay on the regiment. Because you're not getting real fruit. You're not getting real earthy fruit and food. You'll know it when you can. And because the body does require other things. Especially when you're from different environments. And your body's going through different climates. And especially if you was raised like we were to get injected with chemicals since childhood. And some of us all the way into adulthood. The body is going to react in different ways while you're trying to cleanse and get it healthy. Can it heal? Yes, it can. Will it heal completely and totally? No, it will not. We do good to get an 80-20 out of this for the most part. You would have to go off into an island where it's a tropical place where it's beautiful, good spring water and nothing but the hilly fruits out of this world. You would have to do that. Exercise a little bit, at least walk a little jog. You ain't got to do no heavy weight training unless you want to build a little muscle mass. But your muscles is getting strengthened just through walking and swimming. Yes, do stretching. I'm telling you, I want to know, so y'all be careful, be safe. Unless there's any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and tune out. Yeah. So now I got to try to see, can I get some of my buddies from the college to look and check this out. So I'm going to keep it. And I'll bring y'all back prayerfully by next Wednesday, next Wellness Wednesday, maybe Motivational Monday. Thank you, Sister Marine. I'll be taking in, telling y'all what the verdict of that is, what this is. I pray that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong and ain't nothing wrong with it. And they're just some strong apples. They're just some strong, good old healthy apples. I hope that I'm wrong. I mean that. But something in my gut say that I'm not. So we're going to find out if my gut and the instinct is correct. I ain't been too wrong, too far, so good. And people always told me I had a good nose and a good eye for some good stuff. And I give that credit to God and nature. Gotta feed my little fishy poo, y'all. I got her. She waiting. She like, wait a minute now. You on Wellness Wednesday, but you sitting here gonna make me fast today? Y'all, be careful. Be safe. Be sound-minded. Be strong. Research. It's time to start reading. If you don't like it, then get to mental health. The last but not least, mental health. We won't forget $75 for the $65 for the mental health. The advanced multivitamin is in. The first shipment is going out this week. You all that's already pre-ordered will have yours coming through very shortly. The attention for anxiety, to calm and balance the nerves. I've taken some when I really needed it, or else I probably wouldn't have made it through this week because I had so much going on with me. You can get all three of these, $150. Did I say that right? All three for the new year, $150. You can't beat that because one helps with the other. If you got a lot of anxiety going on, you can get two for $150, three of these for $225. Free shipping and handling for those who ordered all three. And then I have the elderberry still for helping to boost the immune system, to cleanse that gut from all this artificial food and fruits and all these other things that you are taking in that you don't realize that you got your real greens, your real colloidal chlorophyll that help cleanse the gut, the drops that you put in 8 ounces of water. I got the zinc to help boost the immune system. We got the colloidal silver to help cleanse sinus, headaches, and all the extra, all three. Or you can get all four for $150. Or you can get all three for $100. Did I say that right? B12 is $40. Did I say that right? No, $125 for all four. That's what I meant to say. My apologies. Yeah. And we still have our 4Life spray for those of y'all that try to push the COVID again. They tried it. I told you early on, for those of y'all that didn't see it, they trying to push the mask mandate here, but they hurried up and turned that, reversed that in a couple of hours. People like, no, y'all not getting ready to suffocate us. They wasn't having it here. They was not having it. So I pray that be the same for you all in your state, that your governors and your senators, that some of you all that went and voted for, and the mayors would not try to bully you all into taking these excess amount of chemical injections, is what I like to call them, and these artificial injections and foreign injections. I pray that you all be wise and be strong and get your exemption forms and things of that nature. I have not formulated any at this time just yet. However, I am discussing going over some things with some of the other colleagues that I have about it. But yes, you all stand your ground so that you don't have to fall for anything, because you want to be able to make your decision on how on the life that you want to live here and what goes in and out of your body and your mind. They got enough with that's out here that's already controlling the minds and how we perceive things based off of what we're watching and what we're listening to. Why else do they need to control what goes into your mouth? Think about it. If that's the one control you got that. If that's the one say so you got that. And that is the most important. All right. All right. This note, I love you all. I pray I didn't miss anyone. I'm going to pray us out because it's necessary. It's a lot going on and I see it. Father, we thank you so much for blessing us to come before your people one more time. I thank you so much for those who tuned in, that were able to make it home safely from their several destinations, from work. We ask that you continue to cover their families, the children. Lord, bless the children. We have so much that's going on, the persuasions of evil, demonic forces that's after our children and our young people. We ask that you cover them and give them the mind and the strength and the knowledge that they need in order to navigate through this wicked world that we live in. We ask that you continue to bless our people to listen to sound teachings, and not just sound doctrines, but listen to the sound teachings that works best for them and their selves, their bodies and their minds and their souls, and for their families. We ask that you continue to give us knowledge and wisdom that we need in order to live the best life that we can, and that you keep us until the next time we meet. In the name of Jesus, woo, we pray. Amen. 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 Man, yeah, that really got me going, y'all. Them apples. I can't wait to find out what's going on with these. I can't wait to find out. I really can't. Thank you so much, Sister Paula. It's good to see you. Yeah, organic ain't organic to more. Yeah, well, this one shocked me. That's true, because we were led to believe that the ones that start with the number 9 SKU was correct, and I only saw one. I only saw one writing and one somebody that addressed that. Just one. But that go to show you that just because one person is saying something doesn't mean that it's not true. And so I'm getting ready to get down to the bottom. So I guess I'll be the second person. It's not going to be made, and it may not be popular because I don't have thousands of people tuning in to me, and that's all right. So for the few that gets it and that get the knowledge, then that means it was meant for you, and you spread it. You spread it. We all in this together, because they showed trying to get us all up into them stores together to wind up getting toxic things. Now, we all know not to go to Murder Kings and McDevils and White Casket and all these other places that we know is not good for us. We know that that food is artificial. We know it. But come on now. When the enemy knows, think about it. And you all, I'm just doing my chat it up. Y'all know how I do it. This is my behind the scenes, so my aftermath. Those of you all that's new to tuning in, y'all know how I do it. But I do understand if anybody have to leave. But we have to know that the order of war is that wherever direction that you think that they're coming in, just know that once they realize that you know that we know now that we're not supposed to be eating as much of this artificial food, really none at all, that means they're going to come for the other. That's the reason why now we got Bill Gates. They got 5 different companies out with his own branded name of organic foods out now. And I'm now starting led to believe that they may be more toxic, more tainted, like they're already doing the artificial seafood. They're already making the artificial lettuce out of plastic. They're already making the food that has no nourishment to it. Why you